Does studying for your APICS certification exam seem like a daunting task? Are you not sure where to start or what to do next? If that sounds like you, stick around and watch this next video because I'll be sharing my top 5 tips that I personally use to study for both the CPIM Part 1 and the CLTD. And make sure you watch all the way to the end of the video because there's a bonus tip that I have for you that'll help also. Hi, I'm Danielle, and welcome to Supply Chain Exams, the YouTube channel I created just for you to help you prepare for and pass your supply chain certification exam and take your career to new heights. Today's video is all about study tips. I'll be sharing the top tips that I've learned to help you prepare for your exam so you walk into that test room with confidence and ready to pass. Let's dive in. Tip number 1, develop a study plan. Developing a study plan is all about finding out what content you need to study and in what order you're going to study it. It's kind of like your roadmap that you would use for a road trip or the directions that your GPS will spit out for you. You want to know what is going to be on the exam, and the best way to find that out is to get an exam content manual. So whether your exam is the CSCP, the CPIM, or the CLTD, each of them have their own exam content manual. And the CPIM, actually, the full content manual for that breaks down both the CPIM Part 1 and Part 2. So whichever exam it is you're studying, check out the exam content manual and that'll break down for you every single topic and subtopic that's on the exam. So check that out, decide what you have to study and in what order you're going to study it. The easiest thing to do is to probably just follow the layout in the exam content manual, but the best thing to do is whatever works best for you. So if there are some topics that you're more familiar with or less familiar with, you may be more comfortable tackling the content that you're most comfortable with first, just to kind of have a bit of an easier start. Or you may want to tackle the unknown first and kind of end on the note with something you're a little bit more familiar with. Only you can decide which is best for you, but I highly encourage you to develop a study plan that plots out what you'll study, the exact content that you'll study, and in what order you'll study that. Tip number 2, create a study schedule. A study schedule is a schedule of the days and times that you will set aside and designate specifically for studying for your supply chain exam. Now, if you don't commit to certain days and times up front, let's be real, you're probably not going to find the time to study. You want to designate at least 5 to 10 hours a week, maybe even more. More would be better, but at least 5 to 10 hours specifically for studying for your exam. So carve out the days and times that work for you and your schedule, fit it in around work and your spouse or partner or the kids or your workout plan, meal prep, green juicing, whatever you have going on. But pick some time in your schedule to fit in studying, because at the end of the day, if you don't, you're not going to just feel like breaking open a supply chain book and reading for hours at end. It's just not going to happen. So commit up front and stick to it. Tip number 3, pick an exam date. Once you have developed your study plan and you've created your study schedule, now's a good time to figure out what date would actually be feasible for you to take the test. I would suggest giving an extra week or 2 of time just to kind of fluff it in case something comes up unexpected or something takes longer than you thought it would. But I would decide on a date, kind of put that out there and work towards that goal. I would go as far as writing it on your calendar, on your wall if you have one, or putting it in your calendar on your phone. But in your mind, commit to a date and stick to it if at all possible. 2 quick money saving tips for you related to picking a date. Make sure that when you buy your authorization to test, it is within 6 months or less that you actually plan to take the test, because that authorization to test, or the actual fee for the exam, is only good for 6 months. So if you buy it and you decide 7 months later you're ready to take the exam, you'll have to purchase the authorization to test again. Also, when you schedule the exam, if you decide you need to reschedule, whether it's a day later or a month later, there will be a reschedule fee. So make sure that the date that you commit to once you buy the authorization to test and schedule the date is one that you can stick to and commit with. So back to tip number 3, pick a date, but I would wait at least a couple of weeks into your study schedule, if not longer, to actually purchase your ATT and officially schedule the date. Tip number 4, tell everyone. If you've decided to get your supply chain certification, you want to let the people in your life know. So tell your family, tell your friends, tell your boss and coworkers. Let people know, because the more people that know, the more people there are that can be supportive of you and happy for you. Another added benefit of telling people is the built-in accountability that comes with that. So if you have this goal, this major goal of getting certified, and you tell all these people about it, you're probably going to be more compelled to study even when you don't feel like it, or do some extra practice questions just to make sure that you actually do pass, because the last thing you want is to go out and tell all these people that you're taking this exam, but then have to go back and tell them all, I didn't pass. All right, we're down to the last tip. Tip number 5, pick a reward for passing. Once you get your certification, you want to make sure you do some sort of celebration, because getting your certification is a big deal. It's a major goal. It takes a lot of work and effort to do, so you want to celebrate. Decide up front what that celebration will be or what that reward will be, so you have that to look forward to during the not so fun times of studying for and preparing for your certification exam. As promised, I have a bonus tip for you. Write down your why. I talked about understanding your why for getting your certification in a previous video, and I'll link to that video up above. But what I mean by that is you want to understand and write down why you wanted to get your certification in the first place. What is your reason? Because, make no mistake about it, studying for your certification at some point will get difficult, whether it's the content or even just the schedule, keeping up with that. Some of those things, or at least one of those things, is probably going to get difficult for you. So you want to be able to look back and easily recall why you decided it was worth it to do this initially. It's time for the question of the day. What tips or tricks have you used to prepare for your supply chain exam? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I'm always looking to learn new tips and tricks that other people have tried and that have worked. So think about it, drop me a line below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching today's video. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest content from my channel. Also, if you liked today's video, give me a thumbs up, click the like button, but also share it with someone else that you know would be helped by it. And stay tuned for more great videos on supply chain exam content that'll help you prepare for and pass your supply chain exam and take your career to new heights.